عشي بلادي عاش اتحاد إماراتنا عشت لشعب دينه الإسلام هديه القرآن حصنتك بسم الله يا وطن بلادي 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 حماك الإله شرور السماء أقسمنا أن نبني نعمل نخلص مهما عشنا نخلص دام الأمان عاش العلم يا إماراتنا رمز العروبة كلنا نفديك بالدماء نرويك نفديك بالأرواح يا وطن.
Ultra beats on the track.
أعزائي المشاهدين، أهلا وسهلا بكم من جديد مع برنامجكم الأسبوعي برنامج إماراتي. كما عودناكم في كل أسبوع نستضيف لكم خيرة من دولة الإمارات قصة نجاح أتتنا إلى الدولة منذ عام 1992. Mr. Kristian, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
We are so lucky to be here with you in your company. Our team said to you, welcome in our program.
أهلا وسهلا.
And we would like to know about yourself. Who's Mr. Kristian when he came to this country at the first time and what he's doing at this moment?
Well, like many of your interviewees, I came very early. After 3 years working in Saudi Arabia, I was transferred to United Arab Emirates and Dubai to start a business in Jebel Ali. This was 1986. It was really, really interesting, and I loved the country from day one.
"19 years from Sweden to KSA, the story starts to traveling over the seas to reach to the desert.
Yes.
When it was?
Well, my father was in Saudi Arabia, and he said, well, you finish your engineering degree, come now and work here. So I joined my father to live in Jeddah and worked for Tetra Pak. And we set up factories in Yemen, in Jordan, in Lebanon, and across Saudi Arabia. So I was very young and I traveled on my own, but I was blessed that I could manage.
From financial to art, how?
Well, I think you don't know exactly what happens in your life, but for sure I feel myself being an entrepreneur, and I didn't really decide I should do art or I should do finance. I just am curious about the best I can do. So studying finance was important to understand how companies can work and how they can generate value. And it turned out that we started to do design and build of interiors. That was an opportunity that popped up 1986 here in Dubai.
Before you come or start the business in UAE, who pushed you or who tell you about UAE?
Well, UAE was a bright spot on my radar. Living in Scandinavia, it can be very dark. Part of the year is quite hard. And to be in the Middle East, it was always sunny. And this was a big effect on me. And no one pushed me. I think the country pulled me to come here because I felt good being in this country. I felt good being around the Emaratis, They had the same basic values as me.
First project push us or let you open your business, KPS.
Yes.
What was that project?
I was very lucky. I met with His Excellency Mohammed Al-Abar down at the court, and we set up the economic department. So we furnished all the economic department. That was the launch of the new Dubai, I would say, 1992. And of course, I met with His Excellency Mohammed Gargawi and many other leaders that we see in the society today. And that was the springboard for me to be able to expand and build a business around this opportunity. So, yeah.
And how much time take this business, this project from your time? How many months or days?
No, it was something that we concluded during the summer months, and we did the deliveries later in the autumn. It was not a very long time.
1996, we start KPS here, right?
No, 1992.
1992.
Yeah.
So when I talk about this, this time from 19 to 2008,
Yeah.
we're talking about the booming, we're talking about
Yes.
the growth in UAE, the
Yes.
challenge is so big.
Yeah.
How did you prove yourself?
You know, it was not easy. And I would say to anyone that starts a business, it is not hard. It's not easy. It is hard. But you have to be flexible. You have to understand that maybe you go on one track, like I started, but I soon discovered I had to do more. So we started, I think, we were the pioneers starting design and build solutions for the market here. And we focused on multinational companies, and we did a lot of work, but you had to be flexible during these years. At the same time, I opened an office in Saudi Arabia in 1999. We launched there to spread our wings and to become more stable. That was a very good move, and we are very successful in Saudi Arabia today.
Mainly KPS, what is the activity doing exactly?
Well, as I said, it started with offering furniture solutions. However, we added on design, we added on project management and build. And today we have also built compounds, buildings, and we have a mix of activities that we can offer the market.
How many person was with you in the company when you opened it? How many employees?
It was me and the dear Sarwan Singh. Can you believe? I secured the business with the economic department, and I had only one employee who was helping me, and I was doing myself the first project with him. So we started very small, but we have grown. Alhamdulillah, we are now almost 600 people in the group, and we are a mix of companies in the group.
When we talk about KPS family, not company, we talk about the family that's 600 person.
Yeah.
How you can build the relation between you and this stuff?
Well, it's not easy to be in touch with everyone, but we do have internal communication and videos and get-togethers, of course. But I'm trying to preach that we all have a role to play in the company. And I think maybe it's a Swedish thing that we are a very flat organization.
So.
I am maybe the owner and the beginning of the business, but everyone is equally important to make things work in the company. It doesn't matter what, you have your area of responsibility and you're accountable for that, and it's just as important as being the owner.
When we talk about Swedish person or Scandinavian person coming to this country,
Yeah.
it was easy for him to let the people understand him or the idea he talk about, because there is a gap. It was in 90, I will talk.
Yes. I think the fundamental approach you must have to entering any culture that is different than your own is to show tolerance, like the leaders of this country is doing. The principle of tolerance, and you were always welcome here in Emarati. And you just have to be flexible and understanding the other side, not only push your agenda. And I think that not being so ego-driven, but trying to deliver something to your other side is the most important thing.
Sometimes I meet in my life many people from Europe, so they always talk about the products that they have it and tell the people. But when I meet you first time, you speak Arabic, so you learn the culture first, then you start to guide. This is the idea.
Correct. Because that's the idea of an entrepreneur. And you see many of people here in the market that tries to be entrepreneurial. And you cannot say, this is what I have, this is all I'm going to do. You have to be flexible. And you need to understand your market. And I might be born and raised in Sweden, that gave me certain values, but I feel these values are very compatible with the Emarati values and the Khaliji.
So when I talk about 2000 and 2008, the booming time, what the company was doing?
Well, I suppose we were like everyone else. We grew with the market, of course. You know the story when we started to sell property in this market 2002 and until 2008. It was a huge boom. So we grew with this. We were profitable. But we made mistakes, and it was a bit of a cowboy Wild West scenario. So what happened in 2008, 2009 was actually good because it cleansed away a lot of bad behaviors. And we started to look at our businesses differently. And I think for us, it brought a lot of professional people on board, and we could change the structure of our business. So yes, it was financially hurtful, but you know, by 1 or 2 years, we were back. As Hisaina said, we are back.
So after that, we are talking about the challenge. I was still in the market. So what's the difference between you and your challengers? Why we have to choose KPI?
Well, first of all, we don't want to compare ourselves to the competition. We want to do things our own way for our customers. And we try to find out what the customers are happy with and how we can serve them better. That is our guiding light. Competition do what they do, but we do what we do. So as long as our customers are satisfied with us and we can give them great value, this is all we have to think about. Competition is strong, yes, we are up against all the big ones, but I would say we are the largest privately held company in our industry in the Middle East today. But we have to compete, and we need to get better. Better suppliers, better processes, improved quality, and we are on a good road. And of course, part of the future is in digitization. We are very well invested in the digitization of our business, because that's in the next 10 to 20 years, it's impossible to run a business unless you have it fully digitized.
When we ask you about, or you told us that you accepted the interview because we meet someone that's your father, he was work with him.
Yes.
So and you mentioned that we are in the business family. So the second generation, that's you, and you have third and fourth generation.
Yes.
When the third generation join your company and they start working with you?
Sorry, when?
The third generation, or your son, when he start working with you in the company?
You know, I feel that even if my sons have an open door to join the company, it's very important for them to get the university degree and also to try their wings in the open market. So my sons have worked in other companies for between 5 and 8 years before they joined the family business. But I'm happy that you brought up Mr. Björn Engblom from GAC or GAC, where my father worked, because they run the business. They are quite a good model, I think, on how to run a business, because they are a huge company, but it's kind of a family. And I know from the time when my father was working there how well they took care of their employees, and this is very important. You have to take care of your employees, and then they will take care of your customers. It's an old saying.
Sweden or Swedish, it's the wood. When we talk about the tree or the wood, we're talking about number one in the world. So I will compare it with the prices. It will come for me a little bit high price. So how we can give the customer a high quality with a comfortable price or a good price?
Well, yes, wood is a basic material, but it's sustainable. is very important. Wood can be reused and replanted. So it's a sustainable material. So it's very important. Now, is it more expensive? Not really, because it depends how you look at cost. Do you look at the cost you're paying up front, or you look at the cost over time? I can tell you, I visited an office of a dear friend of mine here, Mr. Ali Al-Bawardi, who's very instrumental in my being here in UAE and my family being here. I went to visit him the other day, and he has moved to Nadal Shiba. He's the owner of Spinnis, among other things. And he had a new office. In this office, he had the same furniture that we supplied in 1993 and 1994. He had bits and pieces of new furniture, but he also had the old furniture made of wood. Mm-hmm. Some were reupholstered, some were, but it's sustainable. So if you look at the cost, maybe you pay a little bit more upfront, but actually the lifetime cost is much, much smaller.
If I will go for 7 years back, the new certificate coming, that's to cover the forest in the world. So start this wood coming with certificates. You work with it?
Yes, we do that in our factories in Sweden. Yes, everything.
So now we are talking about the design and material design. We are talking about the finishing always. The finishing important, and the materials we are using is so important.
Yes.
Where you get these materials and how you do it.
So I think since we are building interiors mainly, we use local sourced from suppliers locally, as well as we import overseas. And that's dictated by the design, and our clients many times dictate what they want. So we are driven by the needs of the clients. But we try to push forward sustainability in and reusable products to give that lifetime cost cycle, rather than just, okay, this is cheap now, yes, but you have to replace it after 5 years. So we seek materials from all over the world. And this is unique with Dubai, isn't it? Because we have to import most of our things to UAE in order to operate. But the future is important, and we're looking at the project now to set up local manufacturing here, because this market is growing. It has its ups and downs, but it's growing. There's no doubt about it. We are not going to go anywhere. We want to be here. So rather than importing goods, we will start manufacturing here locally.
When we came to your office here, I feel the energy around. So this energy coming from the wood or the colors?
From me.
Maybe. So if someone that he want to make his house, the design, so we are talking about you looking for everything, the culture, the energy, the colors, what he care about, or what the size we have it, you make?
No. We of course, you have to, when you build houses, you have to look at the client and the needs of if you're looking family houses, what the family wants to use the house for. If you have an Emarati family, you have certain ways of laying out the houses. If you have maybe European family, they look at it differently. Materials are important, sustainability important, but the big drive for me is that, 42% of the energy you use on a house today is waste. So we are pumping kilowatt hours into the house to cool it, but it's waste because the windows are bad, it's leaking, it's not insulated. And developers here today are not interested to spend that extra money to make it more sustainable, because they just want to sell the product. The future will not be there. The future will be in housing, that you have a house, and let's say a family of 4 in Sweden spends between 6,000 to 12,000 kilowatt hours per year. Per year. This is sometimes what I spend per month in UAE. This is not sustainable. We have to change this. And we are behind a project where we are trying to move this thinking forward without adding cost for our clients. So these are one of the big projects that we have in mind right now. to look at.
We make a big research after Corona came. That's about the company that's affected. We find that the interior design company, they get many benefits from Corona because people sitting in the home and start know what they are needing in the house.
Yeah.
So is it right with you, or the Corona affected you with other way?
Well, we were not affected in that sense. Of course, the behavior changed. People's behavior changed, but I think it's moving back to a little bit the old style. Okay, it's a mix. Of course, people need good interiors to live. We spent almost 2 years at home. I built a new gym because I couldn't go anywhere, so I have a beautiful. Yes, behavior changed, but I think it's important for companies to come together, employees to get together, to see each other, to communicate. To communicate over, the computer and so on can be done to some extent, but in the end of the day, we need to meet.
With the law of business, we are talking about after-sale services always.
Yes.
People take care about it. How you manage it?
This is a big thing for me, a big goal for me, that we want to have lifelong relationships with our clients. And I think we have been doing pretty good these 30 years we've been working in these markets, because many of our clients come back. I think actually 65% of our business is from repeat clients.
So mainly word of mouth, the main marketing for you.
So yes, it has been the main marketing all the way. And because we have a very long-term approach to things, people get to know, KPS, we can rely on them, they're doing a good job. And it's a tricky industry. It's very complex. But we're trying to manage and do the best for our clients, genuinely. We are here to build things. We don't want to complicate things.
When I talk about a businessman, a husband, a father, when you have time for yourself?
No, I'm so lucky that I have so many good people around me that are driving day-to-day business. And now I'm in my 60s. I have stepped down a little bit. I can relax a little bit. And I'm trying to stay fit, eat right. I'm so pleased with His Highness that they are doing the 30-day challenge. And that's so important for me. And I'm trying to explain to people around me that we need to stay fit. It's not about work. We have to live a life.
It's hard to be number one, but the hardest is to stay on the same level. How you can be always in the top?
By never give up. Keep on going. Keep on going. How many times have we been on our knees? I don't know. But we come back. We always come back. We believe in ourselves. We believe in this country. We believe in this market. We are very pleased and lucky that we are having a chance to be here. And I'm so grateful to the leadership here because they have created security. And with security and law, you will have people having a chance to be curious. And with curious, you develop knowledge. And knowledge drives things forward. And you can see how, we are reaching to the moon or beyond in the space in this country. Who would have thought it when I came here in 1986? This trajectory we are on here, when I'm gone, it will continue. Because the spirit is right.
Corona changed the world, and now we are talking about digital world. We're talking about everything, so we will talk about crypto and the blockchain a little bit. So did you go with this word or no?
No, I have not gone into crypto, number one, because that's pure speculation. The day you and I can say, okay, I pay you with crypto, yes, I will be there. But if it's just to hold some crypto and hope that someone is willing, I will pay more for that, okay, I sell it to you. That's not business. That's not value. Blockchain is a different story. It's a technology that is very important, I think, and that will change the world. How you can have a chain of events open for everyone to see. and it can be applied in so many industries. So these are two things, blockchain and crypto. But digitization, as I said earlier, there are tools being developed in this world with with artificial general intelligence developing further and further, which I'm really interested in, and we are investing a lot of money into. I think it is like you had your old, in the early days you had to calculate by pen and paper. Then you got the calculators, you can do so much more. What will happen is that we're going to have this artificial general intelligence helping us with the mundane, boring stuff, and you and I can sit, if we are creative, we can sit and think creatively, and the machines will actually deliver the results. So these are things that are on the agenda of our companies to develop more into. It will be a must, for sure.
I will go back again for 90 times. So what was the first advice from your father before you start the business?
My father was a very quiet man. And the first advice he gave me was when I was 13 years old. I was in Sweden, of course. And I said, Baba, I would like to buy a motorbike. And he simply looked at me, well, then you better get a job. That's how it started in my life. Because a few months later, I did get a job in a hardware store. I was 13 years old. And I started to save money to buy my motorbike. So I didn't think about it then, but when I look back, this advice of trying to take action, this is the spirit of the entrepreneur. Why did I want to learn finance? Because I want to learn finance to know how it works. Not only to learn finance to do finance. No, I want to know how it works. And that's the spirit of Dubai and UAE. That people want to build more knowledge in order to do things. Not only to build knowledge to sit and do nothing. So my father gave me a very good advice at that time. And of course, this place has given me the opportunity to build on my ambitions. And I'm very lucky to be able to take care of my family, my 5 children, my beautiful wife, thanks to this place.
Many people, they have a target UAE after they finish their education, or many investors around the world, they are coming here.
Yeah.
They always need an advice for the people who have fair enough experience in this country. What is your advice for these newcomers?
Yeah, what's the advice? Well, I think the main advice is to be flexible, to don't be scared of taking on challenges. If you're going to succeed, you have to take risks, and you have to be prepared to fail. And trust me, I failed a lot in my life. But if you keep going and you try, you will succeed. Don't let people tell you you can't do it. Sometimes you have to listen. To my wife, I have to listen. But don't be scared. Don't be scared at all. Just go with your idea, your dreams. But plan a little bit ahead. Make sure you have enough. If things don't work, you still have somewhere to go, something to fall back on. So don't risk more than you have.
Before 13 years, your life has changed when you get a new daughter, right?
Correct.
So this daughter now, she have an art.
Correct.
And how you can manage the time between you and her and the business?
Well, I'm lucky. As I mentioned, my wife is very involved with my daughter and her acting career. But of course, I'm there to support all the time. And you have to find time. You have to balance. My daughter and my children are the most important thing in my life. Why am I sitting here? It's for them and their grandchildren. You know? So I will do whatever it takes to support my daughter, my family, because it's the most important thing I have.
Finally, this country that you are living here more than 30 years, so we are talking about peace and safe country. We're
Yes.
talking about the country which starts from His Highness Sheikh Zayed, the first step, and son of Zayed, they make UAE number one in the world.
Yes.
So what we say for you leaders and government for this peace and safe country?
Well, thank you to the leadership of United Arab Emirates for providing the peace and the prosperity and offering us happiness that we can put on to our future generations, not only the children but our grandchildren. We are lucky and grateful for us to be here, and we are very supportive of your ideas, and we are truly convinced that this will be successful for generations to come.
الأمان عاش العالم